Hello, and thanks for joining me on another edition of Simply Saturday, where I get to show you a card that is fast and easy to make. My name is Julie Baum, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up. You can find me at stampwithjuliebaum.com. And as I always like to say, if you visit my website there and click on Shop Now, you'll be redirected automatically to my online store where you can purchase products that you see in today's card tutorial or in my other YouTube videos. This host code that is shown here, you probably have seen in a couple of recent videos. This one is almost up. This code is good through the end of March 2022. Today's card is, as I said, another quick and easy card. I really am liking this design, and I've made a couple of different ones to show you. But let's jump in and make one, and then I'll show you the other examples. I'm using some designer series paper called Hand Penned. This is in the current annual catalog. And if you haven't had a chance to get this one, I do recommend that you get it before it's too late. The new catalog will be coming out soon, and this has been a very popular paper with lots of beautiful colors. I am using a piece of the designer series paper that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. Then I have a folded white piece. This is not actually our base, but this is another layer. And this piece measures 5 1/2 by 8. I've scored it down the middle at 4 inches. What we're going to be doing is gluing the designer series paper right onto the front of this folded panel. So I'm going to do that right now. I highly recommend the liquid adhesive for this step because we do need our placement on the front panel of this to be very, very precise. And so by using the liquid glue, it gives you just a couple of milliseconds before the glue dries that you have a chance to kind of slide it around if you don't get it positioned exactly right in the first try. I'm putting my glue very close to the edges on this particular piece because it is going to go edge to edge on this white panel. So I'll show you how I do this. Everybody probably needs to find a way that works for them. I'm going to open my card. I'm going to start at the score line or the crease, and I'm going to lay it down. Then all I'm going to do is let the paper fall without really pressing it down, and I'm now going to fold it, checking my alignment here and at the bottom and the edges, and this is where you have just a little bit of time to wiggle that paper. So I needed to slide it a little more. It was off over here. Now I'm going to check my edges again. And after about that much time, the glue starts to set. All right, so I'm going to press this on, making sure that I get the edges very well because I don't want any little pieces pulling up from the edge. And if you were to make an error on this, I would recommend that you err on this end because you could always go back with your paper trimmer and snip that just a tiny, tiny bit, just a hair off the edge if you needed to straighten it out at all. All right, but this one is looking pretty nice and straight, so we're going to go with it. Now I am going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because we're going to cut a shape out of this. So I'm bringing the full-size machine in because of the size of the panel that I need to be able to put through here. All right, so this is what I'm doing is I'm taking the card front. Sorry, this is going to be really close in the camera for a second. I'm taking the card front and I'm using a circle die from Layering Circles. And I'm going to open my card so it's flat. And I'm going to put my circle die on this front panel that we just glued together. It's going to be towards the top of the card. All right, let me move this so you can see better. Hold on. There we go. Okay. It's going to be towards the top of the card, not centered. So up towards the top and then centered between right and left. Now this is a little bit thicker of a piece than we would normally put through our machine, but it's only one layer of cardstock and one layer of designer series paper. So it's going to work just fine. The one thing I'm going to do to ensure a nice clean cut is I'm going to put it through forward. And then I'm going to back it up and I'm going to push it through forward one more time. So I basically put it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine 3 times. Again, just to make sure that that circle cuts through all of the layers. I gave it an extra challenge today. All right, so taking my pieces apart, you can now see that cut out very nicely, so I can pop that piece out. That would be an extra piece that I'm sure I can use on something else in the future. And now we have our shape cut out of the front. Great, cute, super easy, and that was fast. Okay, I'm choosing a word stamp for the middle. This is going to get stamped right into the center of my circle, and I'm using stamps from Peaceful Moments. When I show you the cards at the end, I did a birthday and I did a wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. This time I'm going to choose the With Deepest Sympathy stamp. Sometimes we do need a sympathy card, and so to have a couple of those on hand is always a good idea. I'm just using my Memento black ink pad. And I haven't stamped with this particular stamp in a while, so I am going to stamp it on practice or scrap paper just to get a look. It also looks like my black ink pad is getting a little bit light. I will probably re-ink it after this video. Okay, we're going to be just fine. Okay, I'm going to stamp this in the center, right down through the cutout that we made. Like so. My finger felt a little caught underneath the block when I first laid it down. So let's hope that we got a nice clear image. Yep, we'll take that. All right, so we've got our words in there. And now all we need to do is finish up the card. I'm going to glue this to a piece of colored cardstock. That will be my back panel. And so that piece measures 5.5 by 4 1/4. So this piece does not fold. It's just a single piece of cardstock, 5.5 by 4 1/4. And this is Cinnamon Cider, which I just think pairs really, really nicely with this particular paper. It picks up the color in that flower. Really nicely. There's a lot of great colors in this paper, as I mentioned before. All right, so on this card, we cut out a very simple circle. You could cut other shapes out as well. What I like about this is the paper really sets the tone. Your words, whatever greeting you need, can just get stamped in the middle. And really, we're just going to add a little bit of embellishment to this card and it'll be finished. I grabbed this gingham ribbon. I actually was going to use it next week on a card, and so I had already cut a piece and then I kind of got sidetracked, but I am going to use this. I wanted to show you where to find this ribbon because it will probably retire when this catalog retires. It's in the annual catalog on page 140. It's actually a combo pack of ribbon. So in that combo pack, you get the white faux linen, you get the gingham ribbon, which is actually in just jade, but as you'll see, it picks up many other different greens just fine. And then you get this really pretty misty moonlight and silver twine. This has been a really, really popular ribbon combo pack, and I have really loved it. So I wanted to show you where to find that. So here's that piece of gingham, and again, even though it's just jade, look how well it goes with this garden green and these other colors. So I'm going to grab a glue dot here. Stick my knot into the glue dot. And I think I want it a little bit off center, so maybe over here like this. And then I'll trim up those ends. If you wanted to take the time to make little banner ends in the ribbon, that would be cute too. I think that's good enough. And then the last thing I'll do is grab some gems. These are called genial gems. And they're a little bit deceiving because at first to me they just kind of look green and yellow. But I have found that when you start putting them with other colors, they kind of morph into the color that you need. This can kind of look blue. This can kind of look yellow or orangey. So I'm going to use these. They have a really pretty iridescent glitter inside. And look, when I put it next to the cinnamon cider, it almost starts to take on that cinnamon color. So on this particular example, I'm going to place them on the designer series paper. Odd numbers are always good with your embellishments, so I'm going to use 3. Like so. And you have, again, a simple card. This is a great addition to our Simply Saturday series. Let me show you a couple of the others. This one shows you what it looks like with a different shape cut out. And on this one, I used kind of like a messy knot with a couple different kinds of trim, a few embellishments. This is on a Misty Moonlight base. And then I have this one on a Highland Heather base. And this time I did use a bow. This was called Snowflake Splendor. It was from a holiday mini catalog, not just this past year, 2021, but previous. And I liked how the iridescent colors picked up the purple and the green. And then on this one, I added my embellishments to the inside to fill up a little bit of that white space instead of on the designer series paper. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's card. Please do leave me comments and let me know what you've been making or if you made today's card. And also, I would really appreciate if you would consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It helps me a lot. And also, if you will mark the little notifications bell, if you turn that on, you will get notified each and every time that I post a new YouTube video. Thank you for participating today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.